You can see there towards my bottom right, just under Trigger's name, you can see our goal here for Patreon is 300 USD a month, and that will fully fund our tournaments. Right now, that's how much we're spending on our weekly tournaments, and ideally, we want to grow our tournaments. I say weekly. Our tournaments are bi-weekly right now. Every 2 weeks, we host our events, and we would love to grow them and turn them into weekly, more consistent tournaments as well for the players, for the region. So if you want to support us on Patreon, then you can do so there. We're almost halfway to our goal, which is really cool. I definitely appreciate all the patrons that we do have, and we're still working on reaching our goal, reaching our dream of funding our event. Oh, we're almost there, Papa. We're almost there. We're getting there, Papa. We're getting there. An exclamation mark Patreon in the chat if you want a link to that. As we're getting into the grand finals, los grand finales, papi. Another PvP. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of altitude, we have the Canadian Protoss player representing Team Basilisk, looking for revenge, looking for that rematch against his opponent. It is Trigger. And spawning in the top right hand corner of altitude, we have his opponent. We have the best player in all of Taiwan, representing Starlight Twinkle, looking to take this entire tournament. He's already up 1-0 because he comes from the upper bracket. It is Nice. Catching up in the chat. PvP Fiesta, let's go. See, Papi, see. I mean, for the second time we're here, we're on altitude, and Trigger is going once again for a 2-gate opener. Nice. Oh, he's going for a 2-gate opener as well. If you remember, the first time they faced, the one map that Trigger took was on altitude, and it was when Nice went for a gate expand. And Nice, he's learned from his mistakes. He's like, look, I don't want to deal with that. Not again, Papi. I'm going to go for the same opener that you went for. And we have mirrored builds. We have mirrored builds as a result. I love this. Nice. He hides his second pylon out towards the top left hand corner of the map, and Trigger doesn't see it. So Trigger is going to assume that the pylon is proxied and that there may be an all-in coming his way. So a little bit of mind games is going on. Trigger, of course, with his own second pylon in his own main base. Nice actually didn't probe scout. His probe scout is still on the map even. So yeah, bold move here from Nice. He's going to be going in for a little bit of a later scout instead. And we'll see if Trigger does fall for the bait. Yeah, Trigger is going for a more safer opener. It is going to be for a Stalker Sentry. Likewise, so is Nice, Stalker Sentry. So we haven't actually seen this opener today, but Sentries are powerful early on just for scouting information. As Nice does slip into the main, and he sees the second pylon. Should be happy with that. But Sentries are powerful because of their hallucinations. They can morph in some fake oracles or phoenixes, zoom across the map, and make sure that your opponent is doing nothing crazy and that you're getting your eye on everything. Getting your eyes on everything. Speaking of, Nice is delaying his Nexus. Nice delays his base here for a faster Stargate instead. So Trigger is going to have a faster Nexus timing and a better economy as a result. Nice is looking to do some economic damage with this Oracle. Not this Oracle, but the real Oracle that's coming. As the Oracle and Phoenix do pass each other, they're going to be heading across the map, looking to scout and get an eye on the timing of the bases, make sure that there are bases, period, as well. And, oh, looks like the Oracle does at least confirm the timing of the Nexus is going to be going down. Likewise, so does the Phoenix. And everyone is on the up and up. If I quickly check here the vision of Trigger, he does see the Stargate. He sees the Oracle coming, so he knows that he has to prepare himself. The army is waiting in the mineral line for said Oracle. Meanwhile, Trigger is following it up with a Robo. Interesting choice. So with this Robo opener, he's going to have access to faster Immortals, to more defensive play. If he wants to, he can throw down a third gateway and go for a Prism for aggression. But for the time being, Trigger is going to be chilling out back at home, getting that Observer out. And the Oracle does confirm that. And interesting. So obviously Nice knows he got scattered from that hallucination. So he knows that this Oracle is unlikely to do damage, and he only makes one as a result. He doesn't make a second Oracle. So he's really giving Trigger a lot of respect. As we've seen earlier today, as the Oracle does find 2 probes. Oh my god. Already a nice amount of damage done. More than is expected, to be honest. But as we've seen earlier, 2 Oracles can one-shot workers. So even if you have a shield battery, even if you have units in position, 2 Oracles can still do a lot of damage. But we can see that because Nice didn't make a second Oracle, again, he knows that his opponent, that Trigger, has good enough defense and a good enough reaction time to handle Nice's aggression, and because of that, Nice isn't going for it. He's being a lot more passive with his opener instead. Meanwhile, we're just kind of getting into the swing of things. 4 gateways here for Nice. We have a robo, we have a prioritization of blink, so Nice will have a faster blink timing. Meanwhile, Trigger is going to have more Immortals instead. So we are going to have a bit of a difference here between the 2 players. Nice going up for a more heavy gateway army with Blink Stalkers. Trigger will eventually get there, but for the time being is going to be heavily reliant on Immortals instead. So Trigger is going to be taking more of a defensive position. Eventually he will take a 3rd base. Eventually he'll move out. When he does, he will have a pretty terrifying army with 3 or even 4 Immortals. It's going to be a later timing, but a timing nonetheless. Meanwhile, Nice has the map control. With it, he's going to be able to take a faster 3rd base, is going to be looking to position himself and contain Trigger to 2 bases, keep an eye on any kind of move out. As Trigger is going to be skipping Blink entirely. We're going for Charge instead. So Immortals, Charge Lots, and Archons. It's a little bit one and done. So Trigger is completely relinquishing map control. He's not going to be vying for it. He's not going to have Stalkers active on the map, keeping tabs on things and keeping Nice on the back foot. Instead, Trigger is just more concerned with turtling up here on 2 bases. We have a massive gateway explosion as well. This is 8 gates, by the way. We're going for an 8-gate Charge Lot Archon all-in. Prism is on the way. Trigger is looking to hit like a truck. He has 4 Immortals. My god. He's not taking a 3rd. I love this as well. He does hallucinate some probes to just fan out across the map. And, does Nice recognize what's going on? Looking at his vision, he saw some of the gates. He didn't see all of them, though, so he doesn't have the entire picture. He doesn't have all the pieces of the puzzle. But he does have shield batteries, both at his 3rd and his natural. He has charge lots on the way. The army has been spotted. Trigger is committed. One big push to end it all. One way or another, the game will end. Either this works and Trigger ties up the series, or Nice takes it. He defends and he takes a lead in this series. Oh my god, I love this. Hallucinations. They're pushing forward to trigger the stasis. Oh, there we go. They are going to be focused down. Trigger forcing himself up this ramp. Stasis goes off, but only on 1 Zealot, and there are just so many Immortals behind this. Nice cannot engage. He's being forced up into his 3rd base. Meanwhile, Trigger slips into the natural. Ay. The Archons are doing well here for Nice. They're taking down a lot of these Zealots, but those Immortals are doing so much in the back line. The Zealots are running out, and Trigger has to be careful. He has to reinforce, has to make sure that his Immortals are safe and sound. As he's breaking into the natural. Nice just doesn't have the army supply to work with. The Stalker's doing what they can, but Zealots, they bust into the natural. Worker kills isn't the biggest of deals. Again, Nice can afford to lose workers right now, but GG gets called. It's too much, and Trigger takes game number 1, tying up the series. GG. Or takes game number 2? We'll figure it out. GG, well played. Oof. And with that, we have a series on our hands. We are tied up 1-1, and we're looking to see who takes the lead in the end, who can take game number 3. Very powerful, very potent 2-base all-in. Unfortunately, Nice wasn't quite ready for that. He did have some solid shield battery placement. His stasis traps weren't quite effective either, as we saw them being triggered by Trigger's individual units, whether they be hallucinations or even individual zealots. Oh, and he just didn't have his own defensive immortals either. You know, Nice just wasn't able to recognize how committed that all-in really was. Oh, and with that, we're getting into game 3. Jack, can you hallucinate a phoenix if you don't have a Stargate? You can. You can hallucinate whatever you want. Whatever you want. Whatever your heart desires. The other reason why, fun fact, you see those hallucinated probes is that when you hallucinate a probe with your sentry, it actually makes 4. It actually makes 4 probes, so you have that many more units to fan out, to scout more surface area or more area on the map, and to also trigger something like stasis traps as well. It's a really nice move, really cute. Underutilized. As we're loading into game number 3 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gressvan, we have the Canadian Protoss representing Team Basilisk. It is Trigger. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Taiwanese Protoss player representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Nice. Oh boy. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. We're done with altitude. It's in the books. We're going to be loading into Gressvan instead. Another large map, to be fair. Not as large as Altitude or Ancient Cistern, but definitely up there. We do see the natural base is very open, very exposed, so gate expands are very uncommon on this map, as you can imagine. So both players just going for 2 gate openers. And fun fact, on Gressvan, all lanes are very popular. All lanes are quite popular indeed. There are a lot of proxy locations available, especially because of the rocks or because of these steam vents. There's a lot of places to hide. Speaking of, hello, Nice. As he does have his probe here out next to those rocks. Meanwhile, Trigger sends out 2 probes. Why? Proxy. And are they going to proxy next to each other? They will! Wow. You saw the pylon on the way. They both went for the same proxy location. Insert Spider-Man meme here. This is very common. Very popular. Very hip with the kids. Very hip with the probes, even. As they will have to divert their plans and go for another build. Oh my god. Gray minds, they think alike. They think alike. As we have a Stalker Sentry openers once again from both players. They'll be going for a very safe opener, focusing on scouting, focusing on defensive play. And they're both just going to be keeping an eye on each other. The sentry has been confirmed. For Nice, at least. And possibly for Trigger. I think he was pushed away before he was able to see the first unit. So I think Trigger's a little bit in the dark. But for the most part, everything should be fine. We're getting into our next eye as we speak. And we should soon be going for those hallucinated scouts. As Nice is just making sure that everything is on the up and up. Scouring the map as we speak. Again, scouting is so important in PvP, just because like all-ins and aggressive play is so common in this matchup. You have very little time to react, especially because of how the warp-in mechanic works. You can have a small army and then suddenly warp in and it's double the size. So, both players being very adept at keeping an eye on each other. Hallucination goes into the main. Likewise, Hallucination is also getting into the main base and natural of Trigger. Just confirming the base timing, confirming the tech, confirming the pylons. And both players are going for Twilight Council openers. There you go. In the chat. I'm an Ice fan, but after following Trigger, I want to see him get the win. I mean, Trigger has been improving so much. Like, Trigger has been looking so good over the past couple of years. Has quickly risen to the top of the NA region. It's really cool to see. He's a very young player with a lot of potential. But speaking of potential, it was a Twilight Council opener, and we do have Blink on the way. And the hallucination will see this, should see this, as it does get denied. But even if it did, everything looks normal. It's like, yeah, blink, you know, Twilight Council, everything is fine. Little does Trigger know that we have a proxy Dark Shrine in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. Aye. Trigger is going to be slipping in with a couple of adepts. Does deny mining time. Doesn't quite get any probe kills, as he does threaten the Shade into the main, but he is going to be denied entry. And the Shades do see the research. So again, everything is just telling him that, you know, there's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing wrong. Trigger is going to be moving out, though. He is going to be checking the bottom left. And is he going to check the proxy location? It looks like he will. Oh my god. Wow. The proxy has been found. The Dark Shrine is now depowered. Robo is on the way here for Trigger, and I'm sure we'll have plenty of detection to work with. Now, for those wondering, even though the Dark Shrine is depowered, we can still warp in DTs. And we have a DT back at home. But because it's been scouted, Trigger is going to be on notice. He is going to be with plenty of detection. And the DT is unlikely to do damage. Meanwhile, Nice is going to be repowering this gateway. Bold move. Bold move, Bobby. Now, the Observer is still on the way, so we don't have detection yet. This one DT is swiping away at the army. Doing a decent amount of damage, to be honest. Oh, but we do blink on forward. We blink on top of 2 DTs, though. Oh, and Trigger is taking a rough fight here, but here comes the detection. DTs will be cleaned up, and Trigger will defend his third. All in all, better trade for Trigger. Expensive loss for Nice. Expensive investment as well. He does find himself behind after throwing away those DTs. Meanwhile, third bases are being saturated for both players. We do see Nice working towards his Immortal as well as +1. Meanwhile, his opponent Trigger is going to be going Mass Blink Stalkers, going to be committing into more gateways. Just pure Blink Stalker out of Trigger. Oh, and Nice is in a bit of trouble. Nice is down in the Stalker count. We see Trigger trying to force his way up this ramp. But Shield Battery should finish up just in time. And Nice will defend. Again, right now, Trigger is the player with momentum, as we even saw a bit of a DT run by, but we had force fields, we had units in position. Trigger does defend as well. He's going to be rotating around. He's going to be looking for another way in. Looking to bypass the army and catch some reinforcements or catch some workers. Ooh. Does one-shot a Stalker. Backs off. But yeah, meanwhile, Nice is basically stuck at home. Oh, as he loses his Observer as well. But Nice is stuck at home. He's slowly building up that Immortal count. The Immortal count is going to make up for his Stalker deficits, as Nice is down, 11 Stalkers, and this may just be too much. We actually don't even have charge. We have a lot of Zealots. But I just realized that Nice never started charge. Oh, and I think that's an oversight. I don't think that's intentional. Oh no. Like he's going into Charge Archon. He has the Templar Archives on the way. There we go. Charge now begins. Is being chronoed. But because of the lack of charge, Nice is stuck at home. And all these Zealots, they're a little bit useless. They can't really engage. This Trigger is going to be taking a 4th base. Both players are, to be fair. Proxy location once again being cleaned up. Both players working on +2. And Trigger has just been able to maintain his lead. He has a worker lead. He has an army lead. He doesn't have those Immortals, so he has to be careful in the big fight, but oh my god, he could even try and force a cancel on this 4th base. It looks like he will. Aye. Nice just wasn't ready for this. As he is contained here to 3 bases. Trigger was about to be surrounded, so he is forced to recall. Keeps his units alive. Good map awareness here from Trigger. And now charge is done. Now Nice does have a higher Zealot count. He's going to have some Archons as well, but the armies are actually going to be missing each other. Uh-oh. Trigger just recalled, so he won't be able to turn back around. We could end up in a really weird base trade. Let's go. Now, Nice has the opportunity to recall if he needs to, and Nice is going to be hitting first. There we go. The natural base is under threat. At the same time, Trigger, he's going to commit. And there we go. He's also going for the natural of Nice. Do you have a defensive warp in back at home? Stalkers are looking to contest against this Archon. The Archon is going to be going down. A bit of a slip up here from Nice. Meanwhile, +2 is denied. Trigger, he's going to be finishing +2 of his own. It does feel like Trigger is getting the better of this base trade. Probes are being sent across the map. Trigger busts into the main. At the same time, though, Nice also getting into the main base of Trigger. And this is getting really chaotic. Nice was able to evacuate a lot of workers, though, and he will be able to set up a ninja base or a secondary base here across the map. Likewise, Trigger also evacuates. And we're going to have to look at the armies themselves. So Trigger has less Zealots, but more Stalkers. Trigger also has less Immortals. But he has +2. He has +2 to his army. So his army is straight up better quality. I do think that Trigger can trade more efficiently as well because of his Stalker count. He has a more maneuverable and flexible army as a result. And Nice is going to have to try to outposition Trigger instead. As Trigger's main is being cleaned up as we speak. Trigger with a straight Stalker is going to come across the ninja base, come across the last mining base of Nice. And his entire army is making its way across the map. Oh boy. And Nice doesn't have everything. He has so much supply tied up in the main base of Trigger. And here we go. One final push to end it all. Nice, he just doesn't have the numbers. He doesn't have the army. He doesn't have any shield batteries either. He's being overwhelmed. Trigger has too much, and he's looking to take a lead in this series. The Immortals are doing what they can, but they get force fielded out. GG gets called. And Trigger will take game number 3 and is 1 game away from becoming this week's Tenacious Turtle Tussle champion. Oh, let's go. Ichi. In the chat, why do I get a feeling the next map will have a proxy too? Oh, it will. I hope so. Anyway, I hope so. As we're getting into our next game, and yeah, Trigger, he's 1 game away from taking it all. Nice has to bring it back here and now. Has to win this game to force the ace match. Let's see if we can get it. Here we go. But yeah, that was probably the best case scenario for Nice, to force the base trade, to force the game to get really chaotic and really awkward. But he just had a worse army overall. So when it came to the final engagement, he just yeah, wasn't able to hold a candle to the Protoss forces of Trigger. But now here we go. We're getting into potentially the final game of the tournament. Here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Dragon Scales. We have the best Protoss in all of Canada, representing Team Basilisk. 1 game away from becoming this week's champion. It is Trigger. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have his opponent. We have the Taiwanese Protoss player. He started off as the player here in the upper bracket. He started with a 1-0 lead, but now he's down in the series. 1 more loss and he is out. That would be the end of the tournament. He needs to bring it back here and now. For Starlight Twinkle, it is Nice. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. It all comes down to this. And both players are going for gate expanse. Let's go. Economic openers from both players, but just because the opener is economic doesn't mean we aren't going to be seeing aggression from our players. Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. As probes are across the map, their goals here are to deny the Nexus for as long as they can. So they're both being as annoying as possible. It is the meta in PvP. We should be seeing pylon blocks. Ideally, they want to force each other to make these zealots as well, to force some inefficiency out of their opponents. Zealots don't really have too much of a purpose other than cleaning up the pylon that gets thrown down. And speaking of, there's that pylon from Nice. Trigger actually not going for his zone. Nice, looking to race that probe down to the low ground. Can he get his Nexus up? Ooh. He will get the Nexus down in time. Trigger a little bit too slow, a little bit too late. And now Trigger is forced to, he's forced to take up. Trigger did make the Zealot, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, Zealot is racing across the map. So Trigger is denied to take his natural, and he's going for a fast Stargate instead. Is going to be forced to stay on one base that much longer. Meanwhile, Trigger is throwing down some shield batteries in the natural of Nice. The Zealot is on the way. Oh my god, boys are being pulled. The Zealot has arrived, and it's going to be chipping away at this Stalker, but no, the drone drilling, the probe drilling even. We do get a surround on the Zealot. The Zealot is being zoned away, and it will not be allowed into the natural. Oh god, it does go down just in time. And we're not done. We have an Adept to follow up. The shield batteries are done, and the Adept slips its way through into the main base. What is happening? Ay, ay, ay. Oh boy, there are what, 4 shield batteries for Trigger, 5 shield batteries for Trigger, and 1 pylon. And Trigger, he just keeps rallying across the map. He's setting everything he can. Oracle is on the way. The Adept in the main base did get cleaned up, I believe. Oh no, it did a shade here to the natural, actually. Oh my god, and yeah, we do see the Adepts shading past the army, and they're getting into the mineral line. Adepts, they can one-shot workers, by the way. 2 of them, I should say. 2 Adepts do one-shot a worker, and there we go. Probes are falling left and right. Oh, that's an Artosis pylon. Oh no. 1 pylon to rule them all. Well, for both players, to be fair, as Nice completely walls off his main base to make sure the Adepts do not get in. GG gets called. It's too much. It's too much to handle, and Trigger with the mass shield batteries in the natural. He takes game number 4, and takes the series 3-1. Oh my god. GG, well played. GG. Congratulations to Trigger as he does it. He takes the series, doesn't drop a map in the finals, despite going down earlier. That was probably the most surprising thing for me. That was the most surprising thing for me to see. GG. Congratulations. As at the same time, Frost, thank you so much for the raid. Frost was competing in the tournament earlier. Unfortunately, we weren't able to cast her games, but thank you so much for the raid. We do appreciate it nonetheless. Thank you. Thank you. And quickly looking at the bracket here. Again, we were able to cast it earlier. Nice did take down Trigger 2-1, and the only game that Nice lost was game 1, where he got cheesed out on altitude. So he came in looking strong, looking powerful in the grand finals, but no, Trigger was upset. He wanted his revenge, and Trigger, he got it in the end. He was able to take it 3 games in a row, and even having some fun towards the end. He's like, mate, you made this happen, okay? You're the one that pylon blocked me. You're the one that threw down your own Nexus first. I mean, what am I going to do? I have to retaliate. I have to be the aggressor. You made this happen, Copium, as Trigger does take it in the end at 3-1. GG, congratulations, Papi. Congratulations, as this is not the first time that Trigger has become a Tenacious Turtle Tussle champion. He has won these in the past. He is typically coming in as the favorite, but I do think that Nice was a worthy challenger. I do think, especially the first series, the first best of 3 was, it was so fire. It was so good. Nice was able to overcome Trigger there, but Trigger was able to get his revenge here, so in the finals. GG, well played. Was a little bit upsetting that we did miss out on some of these players though. Like Miyamika, he did have to forfeit earlier. He did go to bed. I believe Eric and Reaper also missed the check-ins. But hopefully next time we're able to have some more players get involved and have a bit of a wider variety of races as well. Today was almost pure PvP. Shout out to Kot. Kot did save us from pure PvP. By taking down Ranger and being a part of the lower bracket finals. But yeah, hopefully next time we can have some more variety overall, so we can have just a little bit more representation when it comes to the Zergs and the Terrans. But regardless, we had a really good tournament anyway. Like, we had a lot of fun, and I wouldn't have it any other way. GG. And I hope everyone in the chat enjoyed themselves. I hope we were all able to learn something about PvP today, whether it comes to the openers, how the dynamic works, how certain units interact with others as well. Hope we were all able to take something away from this and enjoy ourselves this lovely weekend. GG. And yeah, with that, I hope everyone has a great Sunday as well. We're halfway through Sunday here in Australia, but I know we have plenty of viewers from America, from Europe, from other areas of the world, other regions of the world, so enjoy your weekend. As today, we only have one broadcast. Usually here on the Cranky Ducklings, we have multiple broadcasts a day, every day, and usually on Sundays, we have World Team League. Usually World Team League is upon us Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but this weekend, I'm not too sure why, but World Team League has been rescheduled. Instead of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's Friday, Monday, Tuesday. So it has been moved over to Monday and Tuesday instead, so we will not have a broadcast tonight. We'll have one tomorrow instead, on Monday. So if you're a fan of World Team League and if you want to tune in, we have a day off. It's going to be during the week instead, which is maybe not ideal because I do know a lot of people are busy during the week, of course, with work, with studies, with school, with other things. But hopefully, if you're interested, you're able to tune in for some WTL action. World Team League is always a lot of fun. So much fun. Quickly checking the matchups. Oh my god, it's so juicy. So tomorrow in World Team League, we're going to be casting Shopify Rebellion versus Team Abydos. That is Scarlet, Bjorn, and Lambo. As I quickly just double check the lineup. Sorry, it is going to be Lambo, Bjorn, and Harstem. So they're not fielding Scarlet, they're fielding Harstem instead. But regardless, a really solid lineup going up against Dong Regu, Nightmare, and Creator. Oh boy. Oh, it's so good. Abydos and Shopify, they're two of the top tier teams in the team league. Or some of the top. There's a lot of really good teams in the team league, but there's some of the best, so it's going to be a really, really dynamic matchup. We're also going to be having, we're going to be having Starlight Twinkle versus Basilisk. So Nice, the player that we just casted, is also going to be playing on Tuesday in WTL, and Nice is going to be fielded against Rotterdam. Oh, that's going to be a meme. It's going to be Roddy, Rainer, and Cyril representing Basilisk, going up against Nice, Cham, and Jollywa Loves for Starlight Twinkle. Sorry, that's Monday as well, not Tuesday. So, yeah, a lot of good matches on the horizon on this channel. So if you enjoyed the broadcast, and consider following us here on the Cranky Ducklings. This tournament, the Tenacious Turtle Tussle, it is a bi-weekly tournament. Every 2 weeks we do host this event. And it is a region-locked tournament as well. Region-locked to North America, Latin America, Oceania, and Southeast Asia as well. So if you're interested in supporting this event and supporting some of these smaller regions, an exclamation mark Patreon in the chat if you want to try and help us fund this tournament and help us grow the tournament. You can see just under the bracket. Hold on, I'll switch the scenes. Just so we can see it a little bit better, but just under us, just under Trigger's name, you can see that we do have our Patreon goal, which is 300 USD a month, and that's to fund. That's how much we currently do spend on our tournaments. All the money does go towards the players, of course. It's all prize pool money, and that's what we currently spend on our tournaments. And we're almost hitting that goal. We're almost fully community funded, and that's our goal. overall here on the Cranky Ducklings. Kind of like KSL. Kind of like the Korean StarCraft League. Obviously, we don't have anywhere near as much support as them, but we're working on it. We're getting there. And we have a couple of milestones. If we can reach them, we want to turn our tournaments into weekly tournaments and then hopefully grow them to pay out top 4, or not just top 2, but also top 4, and maybe even top 8 as well. That is our dream, at least, and you know, we're on our way there. We're making our way to that milestone, to that stretch goal, if you will. So yeah, with that, thank you so much everyone for watching. Thank you so much everyone for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Shout out to Nish, aka the StarCraft Observer on TikTok, as Nish was restreaming us over to TikTok as well to a new audience. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Again, something a little bit different. I know that Nish usually only restreams KSL, the Korean StarCraft League. And I know people are all over that. You know, the Korean action is amazing, but there's more than just Korean StarCraft, right? There's NA StarCraft. There's Southeast Asian StarCraft as well. You know, there's a lot of amazing players out there, and they're worth watching. They're worth supporting. At least we think so. We think so here on the Cranky Ducklings. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for tuning in. With that, we are done for the day. No WTL, so gonna be taking the rest of the day off. I'm gonna have some breakfast. I'm starving. It's midday here. It's 11:40 a.m. and I would love some food. I'm gonna go get some breakfast. I'm gonna go make some ramen, or we'll figure it out. I'm gonna go get some food. And hope everyone takes care. Everyone takes care of themselves. Stretch your hydras. Hydrate your hydras. Stretch your roaches. Drain your disruptors and massage your marines. We'll see you guys tomorrow for some ESL Open Cup Asia and some WTL action. Till then, thank you for watching and enjoy yourselves. See you next time. Bye.